Hey, welcome to Stage Door Theater Podcast, hosted by a couple of regular dudes. And today we are talking to at least one of the top 3 community theater programs that we like in Michigan. And it's been a hot minute, though, man. It's been almost a year, I think, since we had you on. Has it been that long?
Yeah, I have to say probably not quite, but
it's been a while. And at the time, you guys were...
It was colder when I was last year.
Yeah, it was... I think it was December. I think I cheated and looked and see when the last time we were talking, and it was December. But that's all. Didn't feel like it was been that long, though. Did it?
No.
Okay, phew.
No.
So at that time, you guys were talking about doing shows like all the time. It was like one every month.
Yep, that was our goal.
That was your goal?
That was our goal.
And how did it go?
And it's our goal still.
Okay.
Well, what happened is since you last talked to us, Monroe Community Players has moved again.
Oh, okay.
We had just relocated to the Mall of Monroe,
right?
Not too much earlier.
Is that a real mall?
Yeah,
a shopping mall.
Yeah. And
it was like an old Aeropostale or American Eagle is where you guys were.
American Eagle.
Nice.
That's where we were. The store next door to us was hoping to expand, and we were kind of in the way. So we were offered a better deal to move down the hallway, which we did.
That. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the build-out took a little longer than anticipated to get through all the permits and all that. And so we moved in January. Our last production in the American Eagle location was Twilight of the Golds in January.
The old AE location, yeah.
And now we are looking at getting Blythe Spirit up in the new location this October. So in the meantime, we've been doing things like dinner mystery theaters.
Nice.
In fact, we got another one coming up on October 6th.
Murder in Maui.
Murder in Maui. So you're doing Blythe Spirit, you said in October?
End of October, the 21st, 22nd.
Oh, another October-y show then. Yeah, this is like the hot times, end of October for everybody doing shows. So I'm glad we're getting you in now. Get you put in place. And then you said by the time this airs, it probably will have missed the dinner theater?
Murder on Maui. Yeah.
Murder on Maui?
Yeah, and that's a popular show. This is the 3rd time we're doing it at Carl's, 4th time we've done it all together. By Susan Haley. It's just an interactive murder mystery kind of thing. People seem to love them, though.
People, I'm sure. What's not to like about a murder mystery thing? It's just fun
and
times.
Dinner, too,
then it's because so much of it is improv.
Oh.
So basically, we have the characters. We have certain things that we have to do to keep the mystery moving forward, but you get to play.
So it's actually a different show every time then.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool. That's very cool. So if they've seen Murder on Maui before, it'll still be different. It'll be kind of the same, but the lines won't be the same.
Certain beats will be familiar to them, and we probably shouldn't let them guess who the murderer is.
Oh yeah, you can't just stand up right away and be like, I know.
By the time you see this, we're thinking that hopefully the playwright doesn't have an issue with it, but we might switch the ending up just to,
good.
And it's a little dinner theater, so they have poo-poo platters.
Is there? Yeah, what do you serve there?
We're actually at Carl's Hideaway. It's Mexican, so what we've done is we said the setting is the finest Mexican restaurant on Maui. Yeah. At the Pineapple Haven Resort. They like Mexican food in Hawaii too, right?
Oh, everywhere.
The natives have to eat somewhere.
Yeah, so they got. Do you have the margaritas and everything? It's available for them.
There's of course a bar.
Awesome. So then
they can have that.
Everybody does have a good time for sure.
Yeah,
then.
And it's a $40 ticket, which isn't bad. So it gets you your dinner plus the show. So,
nice. Yeah. That is nice.
And it's a pretty good menu, too. So
pretty good menu, yeah. So, but you get the meal, and I'm sure the drinks are extra because that's just the way it is in life.
They get one drink with the ticket. So.
That's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
One drink or 2 beers or
a Dos Equis.
Unlimited soft drink.
Oh, yeah.
That kind
Dos Equis.
Some Hawaiian.
So that's the big thing is Blythe Spirit coming up then.
Yeah, Blythe Spirit, which is the next one on our docket. It's just been cast as of this podcast recording. So the
and we haven't had anybody on doing Blythe Spirit yet, have we? Right?
Someone in town did it.
Somebody
maybe
did
the
it.
rep or
so that means you get to explain what Blythe Spirit is.
It's Noel Coward. It's a classic play. it's kind of, he's English, so it has a little different comedy sensibility.
drier
it's a very
humor
dark comedy.
Oh, dark.
Because it starts off, he's the main character who's played by Brian Burchett Ross.
Okay.
Who happens to be on the podcast that we do with
name dropping.
Name dropping. He is playing the lead character, but he's a writer who is investigating seances. So he invites a madam to his house, and inadvertently they call back his dead wife.
Oh,
who isn't real happy with his new wife.
Oh, he's remarried already. Okay.
Yeah, and so she does everything she can do as a ghost to get her out of the way. There's other zany characters, of course, and just when you think things can't get worse for the poor guy, they do.
So it's a comedy, kind of.
Yeah, like I say, it's a dark comedy. Because, they're dead people abound.
Yeah, last time I saw it was the seance person was the funniest of all.
Yeah, I think Angela Lansbury played her on Broadway at one point.
Oh.
And then they make meat pies out of the...
No,
No, wait.
Wrong show.
Wrong show. Okay.
And then, so we're kind of getting back on track. We're having a little trouble, unfortunately, getting the rights secured for the show we wanted to do in November. So I can't even mention.
Can't even say it.
Can't even mention it.
So if you mention it, is that like a rule? If you mention it out loud, you just get in trouble and you just don't get to have it. Really, that's a rule.
Yep, they could do that. So
wow,
we can say what we're thinking of doing.
What's it rhyme with? Does it rhyme with like boozical, or does it rhyme?
Well, it has a real Christmas show, and good grief if you thought about it enough. You might
good grief and Christmas.
Really get there.
Yes,
certain dancing dogs and such.
Oh, okay. See, there you go. That seems so. There was no mention, and I'm kind of figuring out what it might actually be.
Might be.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo Christmas.
Yeah,
you got it. But we may end up doing Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
which is always a fan favorite.
If you have to, but you really want to do this dog one.
Do this other one in November. We're looking right now at doing what we call a Reader's Theater experience, which is less of it. So basically, what we're doing every other month is to do something that's less intense in terms of production. Reader's Theater allows you to do that, and we're looking at Shakespeare's greatest hits.
Yes,
including a play that I wrote myself. So that seemed to go over well a few years ago.
Oh,
so
your original show that you wrote will also be performed.
Yeah, it's called Upon the Heath, which is
right after you do Shakespeare stuff. They're going to do yours.
Yeah, well, it's a Shakespeare-based play that I did.
Oh,
so it's what gives us insight into why Lady Macbeth decided to do what Lady Macbeth does by the end of the play.
Are we being mysterious as to what happens to Macbeth?
Well, we know what happens to Macbeth, but Lady Macbeth, of course, commits suicide.
Yeah.
And so my play answers the question of one possible reason why she decided to do that.
And it's a comedy?
Actually, it is.
All right. A dark British comedy. Probably.
Well, she's sitting there on the heath waiting, trying to figure things out, and then Juliet joins her.
Oh.
And then Desdemona, and then Ophelia. So
oh, wow.
Other great tragic characters.
They
have a conversation, and it turns out that in this case, things are not quite what they seem either. So,
and is the goal then, like you said, was to go back to try and produce as many shows as possible?
Yeah. So once a month. So even if we get to do the other show that we're looking at, that we hope to do at Christmas, we may tack a Reader's Theater version of the Christmas Carol on top of it and do 2 shows in 1 month.
Man, you guys, I love your ambition, your passion for wanting to produce theater so much and get it out there as often as possible.
Yeah. Well, and we feel that's frankly what we think are not so much our audience. Well, we think we have the audience for it, of course. But we all know that that's what our performers seem to want. There seems to be a great appetite.
Wow.
In Monroe for performing and actors want to act.
Yes, very true. Very true.
In our current space, we're not able to put on some of the big musicals like we have in the past. But our hope is as we kind of recover from the COVID shutdown and we recover from moving a couple times, that we'll be able to start getting financially back to the position where we can perhaps do a big musical at the college again, for example.
What college do you do, Matt?
Monroe County Community College. A beautiful, beautiful theater there, the Meyer Theater.
Okay.
I love that you guys are doing, I think we talked about this last time, is in order to do that many shows, you're going to be doing a lot of shows that are unheard of. obscure, different.
Yeah, in fact, we have several playwrights that basically have already said, please do our plays. So we are looking in 2023 to present up to 3 new plays.
Oh, Are these local playwrights or are they everywhere?
All the playwrights that have submitted to us happen to be from Monroe.
Oh, so who reads this stuff? Somebody's got to go through and read
right now,
these
me.
things.
Right now, you.
As president of the group, and then we disseminate it to other people in the group, and we look at it as a committee and say, do we want to do this? One of the problems we do have is probably a bigger problem than we anticipated is finding enough directors.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too.
Because actors you can find without too much difficulty. But finding that director or someone who can take on the production and oversee it, that's a little more difficult. Unlike because we're 100% volunteer, Monroe Community Players. So unlike some groups, we don't have a paid artistic director
who could step in if they needed to.
Right.
So you got to find 12 directors a year, maybe, or a repeat director who will do a few here and there. But really, you're with that ambitious goal of producing that many shows, you have to have that many directors to fill too.
And we're trying to work back to being able to plan a year out.
Oh, nice.
Because at this point, we're probably, we know what we want to do through December. And actually, we're getting into January, February now. And so we have kind of our roadmap. But again, because of rights and things like that, because you have to pay for the rights when you can afford to pay for the rights. I'm not embarrassed to say our financial situation isn't probably where it used to be, and as we kind of rebuild up our
I don't think you're
reserves,
alone in that situation.
Right.
That COVID thing really didn't do anybody any favors, for sure.
And some of these shows, frankly, are expensive.
Yeah.
The one show that we're looking at right now, like I say, we're looking at $1,600 just to pay for rights, royalties, music, and script.
That's out the door. You haven't sold a ticket yet.
Yep, haven't sold a ticket.
Yeah,
And that's on the promise that we might be able to sell a ticket.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I thought you were doing a show this weekend. Are you doing a show this weekend? No.
I hope not.
You missed it. You hope not. Okay,
If we are, it's news to me. But no, it's the one coming up in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Well, a couple weeks is still this
Murder
weekend to
in
me,
Maui,
though.
yeah.
And Murder in Maui is a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's
Now, you said you had already cast Blythe Spirit.
Yep.
And I went to your website and it talked about auditions being open auditions.
Yes.
And that means you audition in front of your peers and everybody?
Well, what we mean by open auditions is that everyone is welcome.
Everyone is welcome.
Mm-hmm.
But do they just audition between 3 people or everybody?
We do tend to do it as in that same format. So when basically you'll be auditioning in front of other people.
Wow.
But our theory on that is you better be able to audition in front of someone, because if you can't do an audition in front of a group, I'm not sure what you're going to do on stage.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
When that group is going to be, somewhere between 50 and 100, depending on our seating size for that day.
And you have a very intimate theater experience.
Technically,
too.
we can put up to 200 people in our new space. However, we are thinking 100 is about our comfortable capacity.
So the new space is not at the mall now.
It is still at the mall.
Oh, it's still at the mall,
now.
just a different location. Okay.
Just down the hallway.
You did just get moved. I thought you moved down the hallway and then you had to move again. I misheard that.
No, we moved down the hallway.
But that means the audience is right there, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and so right now the space doesn't look much like a theater as you might normally be thinking of. We don't have. We're working to build a stage. We don't have the curtains and everything. So we're doing what we can with the backdrops and things like that to define that.
Again, you're not alone in
space.
that, though. You're not alone in that situation. There's theater being performed here in Northwest Ohio, and that is in the same situation. Really, really good theater being put on too.
And that's what we tend to focus on, is we think that in terms of acting, the raw talent, we can match anybody.
Absolutely.
Where, for example, that we don't match everybody for, like Broadway is we don't have a $40 million budget.
Right.
And are you the only game in town, the only show in town, or do you have?
No. In fact, I think a new group has just, one of the private studios is closed and a new group has just formed out of that, Front and Center Art Collective. They've done a couple smaller things. I think they have an event tonight. And then there's also the River Raisin Center for the Arts has their own musical theater troupe. They are doing Spamalot in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, Spotlight was the one you were
At the end
referring
of
to that
October.
closed, right?
Spotlight closed.
So Spotlight closed, and she moved to Florida or something
Yep,
like
exactly.
that. Yeah. And somebody, so probably some people there were like, we still want to do some more stuff, and they kind of kicked it up. But yeah.
And then so they felt they wanted to do something a little differently, I guess, than what we're doing because, as I said, we welcome everybody.
Yeah.
You have your $20. You can be a member and vote on things and everything. So.
Oh. So membership, you're on the board, and how many people are on the board?
Our board, we just streamlined the board a little. There's 6 people now.
Nice. Yeah. I just look at it like, so do you take the scripts? You said you were pretty much the first one. And so you must spend a lot of time reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Read these things and go, this is garbage, throw it away. Next one. So you're like the first line of defense for everybody else probably. And if you like something, then you disseminate it out to everybody.
And I probably oversimplified her that almost everyone's always reading plays. And someone will say, hey, I want to do this. So what we really depend on is someone saying, I have to direct this show.
I have to direct
it.
No,
we do the same
please help
thing.
me.
Ron and Thom and I, we have ideas and we just say it. We're like, I have this idea. Let's just do this thing. And we would never just, try to do it all on our own.
Right.
It's good to have help. It's good to have ideas. Even if my idea is the dumbest idea in the world, Thom and Ron at least still humor me.
Yeah.
And let me say it out loud at least. And then tell me it's dumb.
Yeah. And as I mentioned last time, Monroe Community Players, we've been around almost 75 years. Next year is our 75th anniversary of the Modern Group, or what we call the Modern Group.
And what
our root school.
The Modern Group is 75 years old?
Next year.
Oh my gosh! So before that, what was it like? So it was like B, C, and AD. That's what you are.
We could do that. We would say before Bill and Marie and after Bill and Marie. Bill and Marie Smith, who revitalized us.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, they were the ones who really put the work in and got it all together.
Their friends and family got it. Put the group on more official solid ground.
There you go.
So for Toledo theater goers who don't know much about Michigan, can you describe the Michigan community theater scene?
Well, I can to a degree. I used to be the president of the Community Theater Association of Michigan, in fact.
Oh, nice.
So I got a good picture. I think, as you said, right now, I guess what we're calling post-COVID or the endemic stage here, a lot of groups are hurting. I think we lost a lot of groups, unfortunately.
Sadly, yeah.
But I think we still have a vibrant theater in the area. The Croswell is still live and active in Adrian. Like I said, Monroe has at least 3-4 groups in Monroe County because Bedford Community Players are still out there.
They just popped up again. I hadn't seen them in years. I was good to see them pop.
And then, like I said, the new Front End Center, River Raisin, ourselves. Then downriver, you've got all sorts of groups.
Wow.
Warren Civic, Southgate, Downriver Actors Guild, Dearborn. There's just so much in the Metro Detroit area, and that's just on the amateur side. Ann Arbor Civic, but then there's also the professional theater. That I think there's still a few small professional theaters in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti area as well. As, of course,
you haven't even got
Detroit.
up into Detroit yet. Exactly,
Yeah,
you got Detroit, and of course you got the University of Michigan, who puts on some great shows.
Well, and I'm
I assume
sure that Adrian College, Siena Heights.
Yeah. All of them.
On occasion, the Monroe County Community College, I think, is still doing some theater.
They're just like Toledo. They're just hopping.
Yeah.
They're just hopping.
Yeah.
They're putting all sorts of great things out all the time. Blithe Spirits when again?
October 21, 22, and 23. Go to
Okay.
monroecommunityplayers.org. Find that information.
And then for auditions for the next one is for what show?
The auditions we haven't set yet, but it'll probably be for that Shakespeare's Greatest Hits.
Awesome.
And then in November, we'll probably have auditions for whatever ends up being our December show.
Gotcha. Well,
actually, the hope is, I think, October 27th, 28th for that show to do those auditions.
Okay. So real soon then, too. So everybody needs to
end of
make
the
sure,
month.
get on Facebook, follow you guys on Facebook. Is that the easiest way to figure out what's going on?
Facebook, the website.
Podcast too?
Podcast,
Yes,
you guys. What's the podcast?
Art and Business of Community Theater featuring the Green Room Groupies by the Monroe Community Players.
Oh, my gosh.
You can find a podcast with a longer name. I'd like to know.
Stage Door Theater Podcast hosted by 2 regular guys out of Northwest.
We can try.
We can compete.
Yeah, we're having a little, I shouldn't say identity problems, but if you go to Spotify or Apple podcast, you'll find us under Monroe Community Players.
Yeah, that's how I found you. I found you that way too.
yeah,
But yeah,
and-
follow you guys on Facebook. Follow Instagram. You guys are active on Instagram.
Our Instagram account is currently not that active, but
Oh.
we're looking to get all our social media up. But Facebook is a good way.
It's not that hard to find out what these guys are doing. So if anybody's interested in going out and performing, auditioning, directing, obviously, give them a call, guys. Get
Yeah.
out there and get yourselves known.
Yeah,
'cause
we
they're producing a
pride
lot of stuff.
ourselves on our inclusivity, because we like to think that we were doing the cast. What do they call the casting now?
Non-traditional?
Non-traditional casting before Broadway ever heard about it.
There you go.
I
That's
think that's
awesome.
true with all community theaters. We used to call it colorblind in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't gotten too much into the so-called gender bending, but you
Yeah.
know, with Shakespeare and stuff like that, we've done that too.
Yeah, but now non-traditional, you're right. Colorblind's too specific. Now it's, it's age blind, color blind, sex blind, all that stuff now. So, yeah.
I mean,
Body type.
yeah,
blind.
all of it.
and
blind.
we leave a lot of that to the director. And there's some plays where, frankly, you want to keep everything traditional, but
Yeah.
there's other plays you can have some fun with.
Have a lot of fun.